I was just putting stuff together. Excited for the show today. Hope everybody's great. I'm trying to catch up on the chat where everybody's from. I would go through it, but I've got so much to cover that I can't. I can't even, but I will. I'll get to you guys. Promise you. Promise you. You know that. So for those that you are new to Off the Cuff, this is really off the cuff. I mean, I'm very prepared. I'm very, I know what I'm going to say. I know the information that I have to get out to you. But live, the people that are live, you really should just make a channel and come on live, because I take questions at the end, and most people won't answer the question I answered. And I guess it's because I'm not afraid to say, I don't know, because I'm not God. And I don't have all the answers, and I don't know everything that's going to happen, and I don't know everything that's going on. So I'm one of you. You know, we're all in this together. If you are human, we're all in this together. I open all the time with a couple of announcements. We have gatherings that we do around the country, and we pay for them through a couple of fundraisers. I don't sell everything known to man and have gold and silver. You go here, give my name. I don't do any of that. Let me just be honest with you. I'm not a grifter. The donations we get allows us to do what God has called us to in ministry. And it's all good. It's all good. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. It's just something we can't do. So if you want to help us out, and you either give donations, or and you can do that through thegatheringmovement.org, as well as sign up to get notified when I come live, and you get the link and everything. So you can do that right there. It'll pop up, and you give your name and your email address, and you'll be on a list. Okay. Also, joyandcountry.com. Our daughter, when we got back into ministry, we were pastors many years, and we got back into ministry full time. She said, you know, I got to help you guys. So she put it joyandcountry.com. And what we do is this stuff helps us do gatherings. So this is a new one. God's Got This has been around for a while. This is our flagship t-shirt. God's got this. And he does. It was perfect. I had to wear it today. It's a new one. It's called a ringer. I guess because of the ring. Makes me feel like a baseball tee. I love it. I wear this one everywhere. It's very eye-catching. If you like stuff like that, this is one of those things. And it feels so good to wear it. It feels like, yeah, God's got this. Comes in a few different colors. Also other t-shirt styles, sweatshirt styles, and jewelry. All with God's got this. So, because we really believe that. The link to the tee is, you can go to joyandcountry.com, and it's Delora's Closet. All the stuff I wear is in there. Or you can go to the description, and the link for this specific ringer, God's Got This, is in there as well. Jenna, I'm reading right now, she also added a lot, and she put lot in big caps, of new products to the website, and a lot she put in big caps. More she just added to clearance with up to 65% off. Plus there's a sale going on. We do this sometimes. She does it going on that ends tomorrow night. Okay. So today, you know what we're talking about. But tonight, before I forget, on my Rumble channel, if you don't have that, you go to rumble.com, and you will put in the bar, the search bar, The Gathering, Dennis and Delora, and you will come up with our channel. Tonight is Fab 4. We're going to be discussing a lot of the week in the news, but there's so much going on that we're going to give a lot more spiritual insight of what we're seeing, and also we're going to do more praying for what is happening. Also, on Rumble will be The Gathering at Solomon's Porch. That's our online church service. That's on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern as well. Same thing with that. Both of these are different for this week. We feel a stirring. We feel a rumbling. That's why I did this show. I can't say, oh, well, you know, April 8th and 9th, you better, God did not give that to me. I'm not going to make it up. I'm not going to say things just to itch your ears. So we don't know. But this is what I do know. We are all feeling a sense of something pending. And that's from the news. And actually, Christopher Wray, the FBI director, he's, I can't say, oh, yay, Christopher Wray, but he is saying what's going on. They've got chatter and all this stuff. So for me, it was very important to do this today. No fear, just an understanding of having a knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge of things that you could do to really help yourself in case something happens. I have to say, I appreciate the comments and the emails I'm getting, even when you disagree. You are the most wonderful people on the face of the earth. You disagree. I say, yeah, I get it, but you got to look at it this way. You'll write back and say, I know. And you know what? We love each other, and that's more important than the topic. And I'll tell you something, that kind of unity, the devil cannot break. If you stick to something, this is what I believe, and I will not, blah, 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 blah. Man, you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, because that's not where we are right now in the spirit of God and in the natural. We need to bring unity, even if we disagree. Unfortunately, people love what they love and believing because of cognitive dissonance. Go watch my very first one from last week, more than they love unity and loving one another. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking, and I want to say this right out from the get. 4 years ago, the powers that are against us made a huge mistake. What happened was they came out with something they thought was going to wreck us. And what it did is woke up probably maybe 80% more of the people than ever would have been woken up before. So we're up against Goliath. A lot of stuff coming out, a lot of people that are nefarious in control. But there is more for us than is against us. And that's becoming more and more evident and more powerful. But we're still in a turbulent time. There's an immigrant war going on, an AI war, a political war, a gender war, a social war, a cultural war. Everything that is happening, a religious war, that is right now happening, is a perfect storm for, if you will, for something that a disaster, a semi-disaster, a big one, a small one, we don't know. But I collect a lot of natural information. I pray, I hear from God, I get in the Word, and that's off the cuff. It's taking a lot from a lot of places, putting some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on it, and then delivering it to you in hopes that it makes you a better person. It gives you knowledge you maybe wouldn't have had and helps you become safe and happier moving forward in the craziness we're living in. I got to tell you a little story because it's important. My mom passed in 2017. And the dog, she hated animals. She was a neat freak and a fanatic in the house. But I mean, I was younger and they didn't believe in air conditioning. They thought it was unhealthy. Go figure. They're immigrants. So what happened was I would be young and I'd have, shorts on, and it would be like 95 degrees in Massachusetts. And I would sit on the couch covered with plastic, get up. I take the plastic with me because it was wet. It was like I was sticking to it. At the end of her life, my niece, Felicia, had a dog, and the dog's name was Mama Bear. Had a lot of babies, so they call her Mama Bear. She looked like a little bear. It was a rescue animal, cute little thing. She was adorable. My mother fell in love with her. Can you imagine? My mother, the woman, she used to kiss her, sit with her, and at the last couple of years of her life, which is mind-blowing to me. And what happened was, when my mom was very close to passing, we were living in Nashville at the time, or LA, I can't remember. I think it was Nashville. And we drove, all of us from all over the country, flew or drove. We drove because we didn't know how long we were going to have to be there. And my mom was sitting there and she greeted me and everything, but she had Mama Bear in her arms. And that dog, came down to eat and, go to the bathroom and everything, because it was actually my niece Felicia's dog, but my mom was watching the dog. So my mom was really bad, and we woke up the morning and she could hardly talk and stuff. And Mama Bear got up on the sofa next to my mom, put her paw on my mom's arm, would not leave my mother, wouldn't drink, wouldn't go to the bathroom, wouldn't eat, wouldn't move. My mom, that paw was on my mother's arm the entire time. And it was about 9 o'clock at night. And we were all sitting there, a bunch of the family. And my mom was on the sofa, sitting up with Mama Bear on her arm. And we were all talking and just sharing stories about my mom and everything, just giving her a beautiful atmosphere of love to move into the next dimension of her life. And suddenly, Mama Bear jumped down off the couch and went. And she went and drank water. And my sister-in-law turned to us and said, "Check your mom. Mama Bear just left." Sure enough, my mom had passed. That dog was there. Her pet was there until the second she left this realm and went on to go home to be with the Lord. And Mama Bear left. Now, why am I saying that? Because animals have a sense that is beyond what most human beings have. If you have a pet, or you have cows or horses or chickens or whatever, watch them over the next few days, couple weeks. If they start getting skittish, be aware, because that could mean something is right there. It's important to watch the natural signs. We have a solar eclipse. That was the second show I did last Wednesday. You watch that show. That's happening on the 8th, April 8th. They're already giving hints. Make sure you've got enough water. Make sure you got food. That would be a great cover for an EMP to happen, electromagnetic pulse. It would be a perfect time. So that's my opening. But I would be amiss, for those of you that are off the cuff watchers, take that opening, put it on the side, because I've got to go back to Wednesday. If you did not watch Wednesday about time travel, you must. And I'm going to tell you why. I mentioned Ingersoll Lockwood, and Ingersoll Lockwood. I got another Lockerbie on my head. Ingersoll Lockwood, and what that's about. And I went through the whole thing. And then a member of our community sent me, go look at Ingersoll Lockwood's website. Well, you want to talk about a rabbit hole? First of all, I'm just going to show you these, then I'll get right into EMP. Watch this. Bottom of Ingersoll Lockwood. Their address, 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. Gets even more strange. Ingersoll Lockwood, how we work. Funding, American exceptionalism. We're building a brighter future for America. Remember, I connected Mr. T with all of this? And what I said? Watch this. Ingersoll Lockwood's focus on these 10 areas: life, defend and extend, land, carbon negative technology, water, clean H2O technology, air, fuel, space. Remember I told you what space was? Space Force, which they talk about on here. Unleash next generation technology, computing, communication, education, entertainment, wholesome, using 1 through 9 above. Now, look at this, mind-blowing. Welcome to the library of Ingersoll Lockwood. Prior writings of Ingersoll Lockwood. Well, The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump is number 5. But look what it says. Ongoing research reading recommendations. U.S. Space Force homework. Enoch. I rest my case pretty much. I just shocked. I could spend an entire hour on that website. I can't do it. I've got to do what I've been called to do, and that is to continue with the EMP possibility. Be aware, be prepared. Okay. EMPs are powerful bursts of electromagnetic energy that can cause electronic devices to suddenly stop working. 4 potential sources of an EMP outage: lightning, the sun, interesting, the sun, a nuclear blast, very negligible possibility of that, never, and a weaponized EMP. That's mostly what I'm concerned with, although they could do a weaponized EMP on April 8th through the sun. So the southern part of this country, and you know what I'm talking about, that is people are having a fit over because of those that are coming into the United States, is probably the highest probability point. Especially those that are from the east all the way over. They're being planted everywhere here. And I think that's probably why down there was open to begin with. Wasn't really for voting. It really wasn't. And I know when I say this, people tell me I'm crazy. Guys, it wasn't for voting. It never was for voting. And I think people need to probably finally get it, maybe. I don't know. Maybe eventually people will get it. What it seems to be is not almost ever what it truly is. Okay, the sun-based threat is a big one. Things like Faraday cages, things like how to stop a car with an emergency brake. These are things that could save your life. I'm going to go into them right now. Can't cover everything, but I'm going to try to do my best. Number 1, do not panic. Number 2, do not panic. Number 3, do not panic. Okay? Knowledge is power. I'm arming you. You got a gun. If it's empty, it's shooting blanks. You got a gun. That's your mind. Okay? I'm arming you now with knowledge that can actually save your life if this turns into some kind of major thing. Not sure it will, but first things first, turn on the radio ASAP. Now, your radio works with electricity. Electricity is off. Get one that works with radio waves or works with batteries. That would be a really good thing. Where can you get one of those? Really cheap, like flea market, garage sales, even things like Salvation Army and places like that have old stuff, antique shops. You probably buy one for $1. Let's make sure it works. You stick batteries in it. Second thing, shelter in place. If this lasts more than a day or two, if this lasts a week, 2 weeks, chaos is going to be everywhere. And if you're not home, get home ASAP. Now, I'm going to tell you on your way home what you should do, but let me just get these things out. Then we're going to get more specific. If you have to pick someone up, say you have a child in kindergarten, use back roads. The main roads are going to be nuts. They're, use GPS, Waze, something like that. If you have an older vehicle that doesn't run on electrical signals, it will continue as long as you have gas. Let me just say this. I had sharing this because nothing may happen. And I'm going to go over this in the end, the biblical perspective. Again, without knowledge, my people perish. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, trifold cord, cannot easily be broken. Very important. Okay. I don't want you to think I'm being like this fear monger. If you know me, you know that's not true. But be aware, if an EMP happens, any electronically powered vehicles will stop in their tracks. Other vehicles will continue running. But let me tell you what the problem is with that if they stop in their tracks. For example, you're on a highway and there's an 18-wheeler not too far behind you and everything stops. What you have to do is just have to get off the road, even if it means going into a fence, if it means get out of the way of people. That's all. If it stops and you can't do that, get out of your car and just run. And I don't mean to scare you, but you have to understand that we're in a time that I think we've never been in before. I know a lot of people are going to start asking me questions. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Look, I can't give you an answer. Only you can't operate out of fear, guys. Okay. You can't operate out of fear, but that doesn't mean you don't use wisdom. You understand? There's a balance here. There's a balance. You don't tempt God by saying, God, save me. I'm going to stand in front of a car. You don't tempt God. Okay. You got to hear from him. So what else do you do right away? You're home. And I'm going to read a lot of these things. So you're going to see me reading. Fill your bathtub with water. Every empty bottle, every pan, every pitcher, every bucket, every flower container. Fill them all up with water. Cover them all with a flat object like a paper plate or something. And then treat that water with bromine, bromine. That can be used in all of these because of it can be used for hygiene. Okay, not chlorine. You treat it with bromine. Now, this stuff that I'm telling you is not huge amounts of money. People that don't have any money. I mean, you could go on Amazon or some of these places and you get this stuff for $1, a couple dollars. Okay. Drops. They're drops. They could last you for like 10 years. Your fridge, your refrigerator, freezer. You eat fridge items first for the first at least day. Save the dry stuff later. Okay. So you eat through all your fridge stuff. You eat through your leftovers and anything that's in there before it goes bad. Don't eat any food that has a slimy texture or mold on it or an odor or discolored. You usually can get half a day out of that. And then once that's done, then you go to your frozen goods. Okay. Now, if you have a lot of ice, if you have an ice chest and you have a lot of ice cubes or you have ice or whatever, put those in the ice chest and take your frozen food and put it in there. The stuff that's thawing, eat. Okay. Just because it's going to go bad. So just eat from refrigerator. Then the next day, maybe into freezer. If you got the stuff in the freezer, you can put it in ice chest. Then always, yes, Queen Esther, we should always be prepared whether something happens or not. Absolutely. Again, wisdom, just wisdom. If you read, I'm going to go in the end about the Bible, people prepared all through the Bible for things that did happen and things that didn't happen. Next thing to do. Now, I know people are going to say, well, can you write all it down? No, I can't. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go through here and write stuff down. That's all I can tell you to do. Okay. Let's see. I did that. Okay. Remember to shut off water at the meter so you don't get any cross-contamination. Okay. And disconnect from public utilities. If this goes on, that's what you have to do. This isn't something you do immediately, although knowing my husband, he will. But that's as we progress, if it continues, that's something you have to do. If you are out in your car, be aware of large trucks. I went over that. Let them pass you. You might consider putting smaller replacement electronics in a Faraday cage as a backup. You can get a Faraday cage, Faraday cloths. On Amazon, you get big Faraday material for like almost nothing, and you can cover some of your electronics. A Faraday cage stops electromagnetic fields from hitting it. You get, we got one of these, very important, a propane powered hot plate, if possible. Okay. Like the same propane you use in your gas grill. If you have a gas grill, anything you can get that maybe is a hot plate, and maybe you only need one. When it comes to building your home security kit, now I'm going to take another direction. Those are immediate things you need. But building a home security kit, if you want to do that, if you're able to do it, there's nothing more needful than water. Adults usually require up to a gallon of water a day for hygiene and for drinking. And food is important, of course, but you can go many, many days without food, but you cannot go many days without water. If you have barrels or containers, if they're plastic, make sure there's no BPA in it. Fill them up. You can put them outside. Fill them up with faucet water right away and store them, and get the drops that you can buy on Amazon or other places, and that will cleanse the water for drinking, like 3 drops, and it'll cleanse your water for drinking. But if it continues, those same barrels you can put outside and collect rainwater. Use your drops and can turn it into water that is drinkable. Remember, nutritional high-calorie food bars is practical, efficient, and costs less than some foods. Cliff bars are especially good and organic. Now, remember, if this looks like it's a couple of days, 3 days, and you're hearing no one knows when it's going to end, you have to start rationing food immediately. You're not going to, on your hot plate, make spaghetti and meatballs and sit down and chuck and have dessert. And, you got to start rationing food immediately if it looks like this is going to be long-term. Storing batteries, power banks, flashlights, other light-providing devices, candles is crucial for your home security kit. Also lantern sticks, light sticks, solar powered lights, candles, and don't forget matches. Candles are going to do nothing for you if you can't light them. Emergency communication, battery powered or cranked radio. I just told you about that. That'll keep you understanding of what is happening. If you don't already have one, a ham radio. It's important. Sometimes they require a license, but let me tell you something. Nobody's going to come and knock on your door and say, do you have a license for that ham radio in the middle of this? So it's not an issue. First aid kit. What do you need? Bandages, gauze pads, adhesive tape, antiseptic solution, disposable gloves, tweezers, scissors, pain relievers, thermometer, personal medications, as well as things like antibiotics, any other over-the-counter, even I don't use antibiotics. Okay, I'm not pushing antibiotics. Just saying, when push comes to shove and your holistic doctor's not there, and can't eat certain things and make yourself, a natural remedy out of garlic and stuff, you need antibiotics. So, other over-the-counter medications or anything you use on a regular basis, just buy extra of those and keep it in a kit. Generally speaking, what do you look for in foods? I'm going to say this again. Water is more important than anything. If you can store cases of water, great. But make sure if you're storing cases of water that they are for long-term use. Some are not. Make sure there's no BPA in the plastic. So canned foods. Most shelf life dates are best used by. That doesn't mean they're going to go bad. Best used by is for the greatest taste. It could be a year beyond that. Cans of beans, they got all long, dried beans last up to 30 years. White rice lasts up to 4 years. Pasta lasts up to 15 years if you store it correctly. Now, let me tell you something about pasta. Sadly, I learned this because of flour. And I know you probably all know this better than I do. I make bread. I've been making bread since I was young. I love it. I now make sourdough bread. I have a sourdough starter. I call her Sally. And I make bread like every other day, along with granola and many, many things that I do. I make homemade. The thing with flour is if you don't keep it in the freezer, there are larvae, the eggs that are in there, and they will turn into bugs if it's not put in the freezer. Pasta, same thing. I always wondered why my mom would, my husband I just saw a text from my husband, honey, I'll do that. My mom used to open up a bag, a box of macaroni, and she would dump it out first in what I called a scolobust. It's a strainer. I don't know, a colander. I don't really know that. I still call it a scolobust. But anyway, I used to say to my father, what does a scolobust mean? And he said in his Italian accent, it means macaroni stop and the water go ahead. That's what he used to say it was. So that's what I call a macaroni stop and a water go ahead. That's a scolobust. But she used to look in the bottom of the box when she didn't make homemade macaroni, and she'd see if there was any bugs, because she said if it was on the shelf too long, it would develop. So what do? Buy a lot of pasta, lots and lots of pasta. It's filling. You can eat a little bit, and it gives you energy. And put it in the freezer first for like 4 or 5 days. Then you can store it in a dark place. It'll be okay because you killed all the eggs. Okay. My husband, I want to make sure. He's reminding me, if you have kids in kindergarten or you have grandchildren or whatever, you got to pick them up. There's going to be a lot of people that are nefarious, that are watch his kids, especially elementary schools, that please tell your kids, don't get into a car with anyone but me. I don't care who comes and says your mom sent me. You can't, unless you know them, they're an uncle, a cousin, whatever. Do not get in a car with anyone. Thank you, honey, for reminding me, so you don't talk to strangers. This will be a crazy time at school. Teachers will be in panic. And so your kids got to have a sense about them. But okay. All right. So now things like spam, yuck, but long life and will provide energy and strength. Anyway, but hey, what are you going to do? Whole grains, wheat, rye, barley, oatmeal, long life. Powdered dry milk, complete protein, very cheap. All the amino acids. Honey, virtually unlimited shelf life. Peanut butter, although it's really not good for you, it's got all kinds of fungus, but at this point, you're not worried about fungus. If you love it, store it in a cool, dried place. Be aware fungus does grow on peanuts, so if anything green is on it, or if you have peanuts, the shell's got like a green tint, do not eat them. Important to get iodized salt. Iodine is essential for the human body, especially for your thyroid, which is very important at this point, actually. Salt lasts forever because bacteria and fungus can't survive in a salt environment. He said, to prepare. Dennis said, not to scare you guys about someone coming after your kids, but just a warning, just to be prepared. That's all that this is about, just in case. Sugar, same thing. It's good to have on hand. It's good for energy. Sometimes you never know. You never know what you need it for. Freeze-dried food, good to have on hand. Dried fruit, dates, figs, dried apples, all that stuff. They last like forever. Cooking oil, jams, jellies, protein bars, popcorn. Popcorn virtually lasts forever. Baking soda. What is great about baking soda, it's great for your stomach with water. If you're stressed, you're nervous. And also with water, you mix it for toothpaste. Amazing. Powdered cheese, powdered eggs. We have them. I'm going to have to really be really hungry to use them. Instant potato flakes. 5 years they last, okay? Don't forget your multivitamins, your coffee, your tea. If you have a hot plate and you want to make coffee and you want to, don't forget, you got to, we're in this a long time. Again, I'm not saying we are. I'm not saying it. Don't tell anybody. Delores preparing us for 18 months of, I'm not. I'm really not. Just be prepared. If I didn't do this and something happened and I didn't do this for everyone that watches me, I couldn't sleep at night. And I mean it. That's how seriously Dennis and I take the people that watch us. We love you dearly. We're not for ourselves. The first thing I'm going to do if one of these things happens is we have a small neighborhood of maybe, we rent a home in maybe 150 home area. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to have to say, everybody, come on, let's all meet at the pool if this continues, because I'm concerned about other people. So, and that's the way we should all be. And if we're concerned about neighbors and everybody's concerned about everybody else, and we have a contingency of those that can supply through barter and different things, that's what we need. That's what they're trying to stop. Anyway, don't forget your multivitamins, coffee, tea, pet food. You have a pet. Don't forget, get dry pet food. It'll say how long it lasts and so on and so forth. Okay. If you have this space, experts recommend a few weeks supply of food and water for each person living in your home. Best foods are ones that don't require refrigeration, are not high in salt, because then you'll need more water. Manual can opener. Don't forget that. If you have only have an electric can opener, how are you going to open your cans? Radio, batteries, copies of important documents. Also, I don't want to forget this, cash on hand. Not that you need thousands of dollars, small bills, dollars, fives, tens, which you can't find anymore, that you can pay someone for something that, you may need to walk. Maybe someone's got tomatoes for sale, $1 for 3 and you got $1. He's not going to have change. So everything, small bills. So worst case scenario, okay? The electrical grid goes out, GPS goes out, cell phones, internet, modern vehicles, radio, all electrical devices. So you have no heating, no electricity, no phones, no way to get money out of your bank, no food in grocery stores. So what are the steps to do? It happens. It looks like it's everywhere. Looks like it's a long-term one. Just what I said. Number one, group your family and or neighborhood, people in your neighborhood. You should have a plan in place if you have kids in school. If whoever's working, someone's working, your kids are in one school, you're a teacher in another. You got to have a plan in place. Okay. Very important. Don't freak your kids out. Don't freak your grandkids out. Make it fun. Hey, if this happens and we don't have electricity, we'll have fun. We got candles, but let me tell you what you do. And then you practice. What do you do? This is what you do. What do you do? What did mom say you do? Wait for me. Don't go near anyone. Don't go out. You stay in the school near your teacher. I'd be the only. It's that kind of thing. You got to plan. You can't panic. This is when your adrenaline's going to kick in. And at the beginning, it's going to be like, oh no, what happened? And then you're going to be like, okay, what do we do? We've been told for years that an EBS would happen and we would then know everything. I kind of came against that like 2 years ago when everybody said Mr. T would be back. I don't know if that's what the EBS is going to be about. Maybe about this. I'm hoping it's about that, because wouldn't that be glorious? But I don't know. So will there be an EBS? Maybe. But right now, we don't know. Actually don't know anything. And as days are going by, I'm realizing how much people said that they knew really did know nothing. That's what I'm realizing. So here we are, guys. Okay. It's not each man for himself. It's, I am your brother. I am your sister. Got to get a group, get your neighborhood. That's the first thing you do. Plans for your children, plans with your husband, plans with your family. That's what you do. Okay. Gather information. Grab your bug out kit. Okay. If you are in an area where it looks like it's going to get crazy, I'm going to tell you what a bug out kit is in a minute. Grab your bug out kit and get out of where you are. Keep your bug out kit maybe in your car if you travel a lot. So let me tell you, what does a bug out kit have? Here you go. That's like a backpack. Okay. Maps, important documents, medicine, batteries, Mountain House meals. You don't have to, this is Mountain House. You don't have to go to Mountain House and get Mountain House meals, just meals, dried things, matches, first aid kit, flashlight, a multi-tool, very important, water. Okay. That's what you need. You don't need one of these for every person, but everyone should have some of this stuff in, like the food, the water, for everybody that is in your household. This is also important. How long does food storage last? I'm putting this up. I'm not going to leave it up, but you can come back, make a screenshot of it, and keep it for yourself. So let's go to, that was number 2, gather information, grab your bug out kit, and head for a rural area. If you're in a city and it looks like it is going to be nutso, you want to just grab your bug out bag and try to maybe head out toward a rural area, as rural as you can get. Okay. People hopefully will see people moving around and will help them. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know, but I'm hoping the humanity of people will come forward during this time. If it happens, to prepare. Number 3, if this looks like it's down a little here, down, and it's going to get big, and you still have your car and it's still running, or you can walk, take a final trip to the closest grocery store. Okay. Like I've got one a mile and a half from here. What would we do? We would walk. I mean, I'd probably, get a cart, get as much last minute stuff as I can. At that point, I'll just take the cart home of non-perishables, cans of beans. That's the first thing you want to do. Get as much stuff as you can at the grocery stores. Clean out the shelves. You're going to have cash. See, this is the thing. You can't have a card at that point. You got to have cash. Let's see. The good news is, and this is what we're talking to Dennis about, this will probably, if it does happen, the most logical time will be now until the beginning of April, probably April 8th through the middle of April, end of April maybe. That's the most logical time for this, just naturally speaking, because of the solar eclipse. The good news, what's the good news? We are everywhere, the end of winter and going into spring and summer. So it's not the winter. Praise the name of Jesus. That's a blessing in disguise there. Okay, number 4, if it's at all, you need a heating source, but the entire country probably won't need a heating source. And if you are way, way up north in Wyoming and God knows, in the rural area, you probably have a wood burning stove or a fireplace. So you'll probably be okay. Now, securing your home. If you are in a home and you're in a populated area, you're not out in, Hoboken land where no one's going to come anyway. Secure your home. For those that are in Florida or in, hurricane areas, you got hurricane shutters, put those up. If you can, you got a lot of spare wood, board up your windows. If this goes into weeks, you're going to want to have on hand curtains or material that you don't see light through, so that people will think the house is, nobody's there, and they won't try to come and, take anything like it's an abandoned house or whatever. There's another school of thought that someone had said to me, that you don't want to do that because then they'll think the house is abandoned and squatters will come in. So you do what you do. Okay. You got to do what you feel to do in your heart. I'm just giving you everything that I know. Okay. Again, I said about the rain barrels, plastic barrels, whatever you have, pans. The rain, it rains just about everywhere. So if the rain comes and collect that, you have your drops that you got, and you make it so that you can drink it. Rain is going to be the biggest blessing of our life if that happens. Pull your car in your garage so vandals don't try to siphon your gas and break into your car. If you don't have a garage and your car is in a parking lot or an apartment or whatever, and you just don't have one, then what you do is do this. You siphon the gas out of your car, or don't. It's up to you. The important thing about this is you leave the gas little door there open with the gas cap off. It'll look like someone was already there, and they'll leave it alone. Okay. Like someone already took it. Set up a personal self-defense system. Obviously, get a gun. If you don't have a gun, get pepper spray. That is probably just as important. A bully club, bat, whatever. Just have a personal self-defense. Don't, I gotta say this because that's pretty kind of hard what I just said. So let me soften it a little bit. Okay. This is preparation. I'm saying it again. A person could get robbed any moment and should have this stuff. I'm not saying now everybody's going to be in your house. They're going to break in. They're going to kill you. I'm not saying that. Be wise. Be wise. Sometimes Christians are so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good. I'm sorry, but it's true. They don't think, well, God's got this, yes, God's got this, but that doesn't mean God's got this and we don't have it. We need to prepare, and my husband's going to talk about this tonight on Fab 4, but Joseph prepared for a 7-year famine. And I'm not going to go into that anymore. He's got an incredible word about that on Fab 4 tonight. That is going to set you at ease, and you're going to understand why we're preparing. Okay. Now I'm going to get it's kind of late. I want to take questions, so I'm not going to take a lot of time with this, but just like I said about Joseph, let me just read this for you. Okay. The parable of the 10 virgins. I'm going to read it. It's out of Matthew 25. Go read it. Then the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. Okay, Jesus. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. For when the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them. But the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, they all became drowsy and slept. But at midnight there was a cry, "Here is the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise answered, "Since there will be not enough for us and for you, go to the dealers and buy them for yourselves." So when the bridegroom came, those that were ready went in with him to the marriage feast, and the doors were shut. That is very preparation, guys. Jesus says in John 16:33 that we will have trouble in this world. It's not a matter of if. Trials will come. It's a matter of when and what our response will be when they arrive. And this is what he said, James 1:12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that the person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. The trials we go through, yes, they will test our hearts, but it will give us an opportunity to prepare and show our faithfulness to God, to prepare like the virgins. Be ready. But at the same time, God's got this, and trust him no matter what. Okay? That's just about everything, guys, that I know. Just about everything that I have been led to share. And the preparation. We have to prepare our hearts for the day of the Lord. We have to prepare. Everything is preparation. We evangelize Jesus for preparation. So we should always be prepared. Lean Ziegler, what does EMP stand for? It stands for electromagnetic pulse. That's something that an attack on our grid will bring down everything. Not sure how long it will take to get it back up and running. Some say 3 days, some say 3 weeks, some say a year. I have no idea, and I don't think anyone else does as well. Jeanette, shouldn't we get our important papers and items with safe deposit boxes because the banks may be closed? I would. That's my opinion. I would. Do what you feel, but I would. Any other questions? Yeah, that's right, Lynn. Lynn, we need parts from China. Go figure that. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's okay. Gordon, do you think it's possible on the mic he's actually talking to himself in the past? Wow, Sean, you're really very deep, man, with this stuff. Do we ever think it's possible that every time Mr. T gets on the mic, he's actually talking to himself in the past? Might explain why he knows everything. Wow. Gold star, Sean Allen. Woo. My heart loves a critical thinker. My heart loves a critical thinker. Absolutement. It took many years of French. Absolutely, my friend. What area would be most affected? I don't know. I would think cities mostly, but if it's a major EMP pulse, that would look. Many emergencies, I don't want to go through them because I love being on here and I don't want to even take the chance, happened in one area but affected the whole country. Okay. So I would say personally, I don't know, but common sense, probably cities first. I hope that answers your question. Let's see. I don't know what you mean, sums. Who are the sums you have to? I don't know what you mean by that. If you could, Caroline Phyllis, be a little more. Can a propane hot plate be used indoors, Jerry? Great question. Wow, thank you. No, but this is the way I look at this. No matter where you are, you've got access to outside. You've got an area you can open up the windows and put it right near there. You got understand if you have to do that, then we're in a crisis. And at that point, we need to do whatever we can do. And the propane that may infiltrate a room a little bit, especially if you've got maybe a fan blowing it out the window or whatever. There's all kinds of things you can jury rig. Is probably the least of our problems if you have to. Hope that helps, Jerry. Hope that helps. No, this is a question. Next time, put 3 question marks because it helps me. Are they actually for adding the bad guys for the? I don't think so. I think I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. Let me just say, Bertie, and thank you, my sister, for opening this up. I think most people don't know, because if people had all these sources in telling us all these things. I have a friend that was in the NSA for 40 years, and we went out to dinner with him. He couldn't tell me hardly anything. And he knows. If they really know, they say nothing, or they're a whistleblower, one or the other. All right, let's see who else we got. Looking for question marks, guys. Sure. It's possible it could usher in anything. Under the guise of that, those that are involved in the RV, and don't, I'm not going down that road. Okay, so don't even ask me. But if you know what I'm talking about, it could usher in that. I don't know. I really don't know. God, I wish I had more answers for you. But I can't make stuff up, and I can't tickle your ears and make you feel good about things, and then you find out I was nothing but a liar. Okay, I can't do it. So you might get a lot of I don't knows from me, guys, and I hope you understand that. Your thoughts on table salt? It is so too bad for us due to chemicals. Should make sure Himalayan salt and fortified with iodine. Sure. But let me tell you something about table salt. My parents cured meat with it, and that meat lasted for forever. So I don't know. I don't use table salt. I use Himalayan, and I use Celtic salt. But I would have it all of the above on hand, and we do. Let me see any other question marks. Who are the people? Okay, who are the people who are saying this will happen now? You said some say. Okay, FBI Director Christopher Wray. He pretty much is saying it. I'm going to show a video of the sheriff that was on, a couple weeks ago. I'm going to play that full video tonight on Fab 4. Him. Are they saying it's going to happen? But listen, you got to listen with a spiritual ear. I don't trust truthers, quote unquote, air quotes all over the place there, that say it is, it isn't, blah, 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 blah. I can't anymore. I can't. I listen to no one. I listen to him. My husband and I talk. I pray, and I do my own research. That's it. My ear's closed to anybody else. Just where I'm living, guys. I'm not saying you should. Everybody lives. Okay. Love this. Thank you. Activated charcoal for accidental poisonings and diarrhea. Very important. Thank you. Anybody else has got any of those? Just put 3 question marks ahead of it. Again, I don't have anything, but wow. Thank you, Rico. Perfect. Thank you very much. Queen Esther, do you think if this happens, that is when the military come forth and open to protect the people? My God, I pray in heaven, that's what happens. Yes. Does it feel like this is going to that would happen? Yes. And when people say, Queen Esther, you can't count on the police, you can't count on this, you can't count on that, then what are they there for? I don't buy that. That's fear. I think that's when people will be ignited. They'll be on the streets, making sure there's not a lot of looting. And can they be everywhere? No. Will they be able to have it under control everywhere? No. But I sure do hope that happens. And I would think, yes. And don't believe people that say no. Fear mongers. Q Faye, I don't know if it's worldwide. I really don't. I know this country because of this man right here, this creator of the universe, this country. That's why they're after our country. That is actually the best country in the world. It got taken from us, but it's the best country in the world. Remember, the local police will probably protect their own families. I could agree with that to a degree, Maureen. I think what they will do is they will hunker them down. But when you take that oath, you take that oath for your community. And that's why police officers' wives and husbands, that they leave every day, they pray that they will come back. Same thing with firefighters. You are a community servant. When you took that oath, that's what it was, to protect community, not family. Just so you're aware, they will make sure they're okay. But that's something that then they will go out and make sure that their town and community is okay. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there with the Confunden book in Bill Morris. That was another show. If I go there, I'll go down that rabbit hole, because I get led. I just like bum, 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 and everything like lines up. Just how my brain works. I don't know. My husband says my brain is not like anybody else's, but who knows? I'm abnormal, I told him. Yes. Yeah, Tom. Yep, it's on my list. It's on my list, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Kim, what is the name of the drops you add to water? I don't know, but if I have them, I'm not going to leave and go to my garage. But Dennis, if you know, yeah, okay. Dennis is replying to Jerry's about the propane, and I said that you're going to need ventilation. Dennis, do you know the name of the drops, honey? Now that you're like helping me here, thank you so much. I know they're on Amazon. If you say drops just to make water drinkable or pure to drink, he doesn't know the name of it. They're somewhere in our kits, so you'll get it that way. You'll get it that way. Are all EMPs man-made, and has an EMP happened before in human? No, all EMPs are not man-made. They are caused by the sun. Actually, the sun sometimes, for whatever reason. I'm not a scientist. I don't profess to be, but there have been EMPs in the past. And I can't go down that road now, but I would say, I love Menacing Muskrat. I love that name. I would say, if you go online like brave.com and say actual electromagnetic pulse that have happened in history, you will get information. I hope that helps. Rebecca, we all need to combine our prayers and bind the evil plans of the enemy, right? Yeah, and that's what we're doing tonight on Fab 4. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing it. Ben, RC Hooky, Ben tonight, Clay for detox. Thank you. Another good one. Wow, I like this, Ellen. The closer you come into Jesus's teachings of knowledge and kindness to another, the more God gives you the truth of his presence, so that you will know by our humanity and our love for one for another. Man, right on, sister. That's true. You'll know them by your love for one for another. Wow. Those of us that are authentic Christians, I don't even like to call myself that anymore. I'm a believer. I'm a disciple. Though we don't just concern for ourselves. You know them by your love one for another. That's when we need to rise up. Okay. Kimberly, chlorine dioxide for water purification, also colloidal silver. Absolutely, colloidal silver. Absolutely. Colloidal silver is awesome for sinus infections too. That's my weak area. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Operation Looking Glass. Yeah, I said that already. Absolutely. Where do you get activated charcoal? Probably, I hate to send people to Amazon, but it's where it has it. What am I going to do? Let's see. Question marks. Vaughn Renee, I don't think it will happen until after they get the income tax. After April 15th. You never know. You never know. Okay, grow food. Have grow bags, container garden, raised beds, learn to grow from seed, food for your family. How many home canned foods? I have for years, can everything. A lot of people do. I have, I'm the same way. I've got things growing in my kitchen. Not everybody does. So this is for people that, get her done. God's got this. Either way, God's got it. God's got it. So either way, people, they can't start canning now. I mean, it happens in 2 weeks. What are you going to do? But yeah, Tom, I'm going to do that show. This third person that asked me to do it on Operation Looking Glass. I'm going to. Yes, I'm going to. Yes. The water drops, Free to Dream on Amazon. Just look up, and I said that before, look up drops to purify water. You'll find it. Candace, praise the Lord, Candace. My son is a policeman. They will be there for you. Oh God, that could make me cry. That really hit me. These guys, the police and the firemen and these, the National Guard, we got to be there with them. Okay. That stuff really hits my heart. These people deserve our love. Listen, if they're on the street, give them food, give them water. That's what we got to do. Jeanette, do not forget to put on your full armor of God every day. It's the best prep you can make. Yes, absolutely. Definitely. Let me see. I'm going to take a couple more because I'm really getting tired here and I got to do shit Fab 4. Tom, did you not hear me? Yes, I'm going to do a show. He cracked me up. He put it up like 4 times. I'm not going to forget. I'm going to do it. Renee, remind me of Tom if I forget. I'm just taking a couple more and then I'm going to go. Lugol's iodine, cheap on Amazon. 2 drops a day in my coffee for thyroid health. Excellent suggestion. Thank you, Deborah DeRosa. What if we live near the southern U.S. line there? I don't think it's going to be any different. It's not like, they're going for you and then I go for this. They got to go. It would be the whole country, my friend. It wouldn't be just near the border. Here he is again. It's so funny. Drops water. Okay. Drops added to water, oil of oregano, fulvic acid, chlorella. Yeah. All of these are great. And I'm only going to take 1 or 2 more and then I'm getting off. Is everything honing on I don't know. I don't think any of this is all. I think it is a show, but I don't say watch the show because the show is a horror. It's a horror film for me. So I have my little dog with popcorn that I show on for my Rumble channel. But to me, it is a show. I don't know who the director and the producer is. I'm not enjoying it. And I think God's going to turn it around like he always does. And I think at some point we're going to find out exactly what happened. But a lot of things we've heard is to keep us isolated from some truthers and keep us, don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. You don't have to do anything. Even I don't hear pastors talking about preparation. I don't hear them talking about what could be going on. I don't understand. Right now, I do not need to hear a sermon on, some revelation that he got. I need to hear real life stuff. And since we do have an online church and we do have a community of believers who consider us their church on Sunday nights, this is why I'm doing this, because you're not getting this in your church. I don't know why. Okay. Let me go through. I think that's about it. I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff. I think I'm going to just go down to the bottom and let me get to new comments and see what else, if there's anything different. You could put lights in a muffin tin for a makeshift hot plate. Hold on. How do I get rid of that? Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I'm just going through all of this, guys, see if there's anything else I'm missing. I think that's it. Okay. Look, guys, I hope this was valuable to you. You can help me out by going to joyandcountry.com. This is where we do everything we do. That's the way we do it. We got another one, a fundraiser. I'm not going to go into that now. I'm going to do a whole show on that actually. And but this one is called the Ringer Tea. God's got this. God's got this all over. God's got this is actually something we came up with. You hear it everywhere now. Now everybody said God's got this, but we've turned it into this stuff. And there's sweatshirts and there's all kinds of things. And there's free our children and all amazing stuff there, and everyday clothes as well. So go to joyandcountry.com. Delora's Closet's got all this stuff I wear, and look around and help us out and see if there's something there you like. And you're very welcome, Valerie. Thank you for that. And thank you, Gail Sumter. And God's got you. Thank you, Ruth Finch. I appreciate that. We appreciate the prayer. We are praying about a lot of things right now. We have a lot of heaviness on our heart, and for a lot of reasons. So keep me and my husband in prayer, and just remember tonight and Fab4 on Rumble, Delora and Dennis, The Gathering. And like I said, joyandcountry.com. And I hope you got something out of this. I've got a big show for you on Monday. I'm not going to say what it is because I'm between two. And I want to be off the cuff, which means going with what God wants. So for me, I'm signing off, and see you tonight. But if I don't, have a beautiful weekend. And remember, as always, go in the power of God, even in this preparation. Don't go in fear. Don't go in panic. Go in the power of God. Ciao, everybody. See you tonight.